So, are you thinking about creating a new LLC with ZenBusiness, but want to first be sure they are a good choice? There's a lot of competition between companies providing LLC formation services, and whether you are starting your first business or you have started several, it can be hard to filter out the shiny marketing and find the best LLC service for you. In this video, I'll go over some LLC basics and the ZenBusiness pricing plans, ease of use, reputation, and who ZenBusiness may be the best for. So, who am I and why should you listen to my thoughts on the ZenBusiness LLC formation service? Well, my name is Greg Bohl with StartingYourBusiness.com, and for over 20 years, I've advised entrepreneurs and helped them start and grow their businesses. Over the years, I've easily helped hundreds of business owners successfully get their business entities formed and companies off the ground. I think that my experience helping clients with their entity formations will help you better understand the process and decide whether ZenBusiness is the right company to start your business. So before jumping into answering whether ZenBusiness is legit, I would like to first go over what an LLC is and isn't so that you are picking the right entity. So when starting a business, you are going to basically choose from one of four main types of business structures. These include the sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, and LLC. The sole proprietorship and partnership are the least expensive and easiest business structures to start. What is important to know is that as a sole proprietorship and partnership, the business and the owner are not legally separate. What this means is that if the business is sued, the owner's personal assets are at risk, and that can be a scary situation. The LLC and corporation, on the other hand, are distinct legal entities that are created by filing paperwork with a state agency, which is usually called the Secretary of State. Unlike the sole proprietorship or partnership, the assets of the LLC and corporation are separate from its owners. So if the business were to get sued, the owner's personal assets are generally protected unless they did something negligent. One twist to be aware of is that even though the owners and the business are legally separated, if the business needs a loan to get started, which most businesses will, in order to get the loan, the owners will usually have to sign a personal guarantee before the bank will make the loan. So, if the business goes under, the owners are still on the hook for paying back the loan. The corporation and LLC share a lot of the same traits, but the corporation is more difficult to start and administer, and is usually slightly more expensive. Most of the time, the corporation is the better structure if there will be a lot of investors, and the LLC is generally the best for smaller businesses, especially those owned by one person or a handful. I want to mention too that while many people believe this, the LLC is generally not going to save money on taxes, especially in the beginning. This is a complicated subject, and the main benefit of an LLC is the personal liability protection. But there can be a tax advantage for either the LLC or corporation by filing Form 2553 with the IRS and electing the S corporation tax status. Everyone's financial situation is different, but typically, until a business is generating a profit of over $40,000 to $60,000 in profits annually, there isn't going to be any tax savings at all. Until then, you are generally better off with the standard IRS tax election. What's cool about the LLC is that you can change the tax status after starting the LLC, so you aren't stuck with your decision today. Okay, you probably now have more questions than when you came in here, but just know that I have more resources at StartingYourBusiness.com and can answer your questions in the comments. But please be sure to talk to an attorney and/or accountant. All right, let's now talk about how much the ZenBusiness plans cost. There are 3 different plans, and each plan has different options in pricing. First, there is the starter plan, which is perhaps the best bargain and is free, as in $0. Now, when I say free, there is still the cost that the state charges to file the LLC paperwork, and there's no coupon code to get away from that. The free portion is the cost for the ZenBusiness service, where they file the formation paperwork with the state for you. I do want to point out that at the end of the first year, there is a service in all packages that will cost $199 per year unless you cancel it. The $199 is for their worry-free compliance, where ZenBusiness will file your annual report and up to 2 amendments each year. The starter plan also comes with a free registered agent in the first year. I have more videos about when a registered agent is needed, but to give you the basics, yes, a registered agent is required for every corporation or LLC in each state, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to pay for a registered agent service. If you've watched many other videos about starting an LLC, Most are going to recommend going with a registered agent service because, well, quite frankly, there is a lot of money to be made by recommending this service to unsuspecting people trying to start a business. It's pretty simple to be a registered agent, actually, and basically, the registered agent must be an adult, is generally available during normal business hours at a listed address in the state of formation. That's it. The purpose of the registered agent is to be available to accept legal paperwork because of a notice of lawsuit or correspondence from the Secretary of State. In reality, the owner is often the best choice to be the registered agent as they won't need to pay for a service. But some owners will hire one because they won't be available at a particular address during normal business hours, or they don't want their name or home address publicly listed as a registered agent. While ZenBusiness offers a free registered agent service in the first year, each year after that is a bit on the expensive side at $199 per year. Other competing services like Harbor Compliance or Northwest Registered Agent do the same thing for much less, like $100 a year less. Next, there is a service called ZenBusiness Money that is included when you file with ZenBusiness. This is an accounting service to consider for tracking your business income and expenses. All three plans come with a free but limited version that will only do business expenses, but there is a pro version available at $30 a month, which adds invoicing, bank reconciliation, and more. QuickBooks has been kind of the gold standard of accounting software since the beginning of time, and it does a lot of things, but is also pretty complicated. While ZenBusiness Money isn't as full-featured, it offers the features that most businesses need and looks to be much easier to learn and use. A neat feature that ZenBusiness Money Pro has that freelancers and other businesses that bill by the hour will find useful is the time and task feature, where you have a stopwatch function to track your time on a project. When your project is complete, you can then immediately invoice the client, which will help you get paid faster. If you haven't decided on an accounting software yet, I would suggest talking with your accountant or bookkeeper first, if you have one, for their recommendations before paying for any particular software. There are a lot of great options out there, and they all have a free trial, so you may want to try a few out to see what you like best before choosing one. It is worth mentioning that the starter plan is the slowest of the three packages to get the LLC filed, as with all the formation companies at the free price range. On average, it will take ZenBusiness 2 to 3 weeks to complete the LLC formation paperwork, which is officially called the Articles of Organization or Certificate of Formation, depending on the state. Each state is different, but the standard time to form an LLC directly with the state can actually take from being processed instantly all the way up to 6 weeks. Some states make it pretty easy to file online, while others seem to make it unnecessarily difficult. But that could be state government for you, and that's why companies like ZenBusiness exist, as they understand the importance of making it easy to file an LLC online. The next plan is the ZenBusiness Pro Plan, which includes everything from the starter plan, but adds faster filing, which normally takes 4 to 6 days, a guided operating agreement, and worry-free compliance. Most states don't require an operating agreement, but I still highly recommend one, especially for those LLCs that are going to have 2 or more members. The reason why I recommend an operating agreement is that in the event of a legal dispute, an LLC without an operating agreement will have to follow generic state laws, which may not be in the best interest of the LLC members. Perhaps more importantly, the roles, responsibilities, and expectations of the members are going to be in writing, and this should reduce future conflicts between the members. To purchase the guided operating agreement separately from ZenBusiness, you would spend $125. Now, the value of this will vary by business, and I know that funds can be tight when starting a business, but for maybe $500 to $600, you could get a customized agreement from an attorney, which would be the best option. There are a lot of free LLC operating agreement templates available online too, and at startingyourbusiness.com, though they aren't going to offer nearly as much customization as the guided operating agreement from ZenBusiness or when using an attorney. The last plan is the ZenBusiness Premium Plan, and it includes everything mentioned in the Pro Plan, but is now filed in only 1 to 2 days, plus comes with a domain name, email address, and business website. Regardless of where you go to get it, I think that a custom email address is totally worth it because it looks way more professional. So instead of using something like bobsbusiness@gmail.com, you would have something like bob@bobsbusiness.com. I haven't spent a lot of time inside the website builder, but after my initial look through, It does look like it should be relatively easy for someone without website building experience to get a website up and running quickly and not have it look like it was made in 2010. The only thing I would have liked to see was more website templates, which would have given more options for how the website looks. While having a website custom built is always going to be the best, this option from ZenBusiness may be a good middle ground until the business is making enough money to hire a good website developer. I think, though, that if you are looking for additional services, the premium plan may be a better bargain for many than the Pro because of the domain name, email, and website builder that comes with it, which is only $100 more a year. Even a website provider like GoDaddy, which I'm not saying is necessarily any good, will cost at a minimum $10 a month, and that doesn't include the domain name, which will be an additional $15 a year or so, for a total of $135 a year. If you need a website anyway, the ZenBusiness Premium Plan may make a lot more sense to bundle and keep everything under one account. Hopefully now you have a good idea of which plan is right for you, but now you may be asking, how easy is it to form your LLC with ZenBusiness? And I have to say, I think that ZenBusiness is the best entity formation company for someone who has no knowledge of forming an LLC and could use some extra hand-holding. An interesting fact about ZenBusiness is the founder is Ross Burdorf, and he, among other things, was previously the chief technology officer of a little company called HomeAway. And I think it's pretty clear that he brought a very strong focus on technology to ZenBusiness to make the online entity formation process super easy. This isn't the fastest of the LLC formation services, but it is the most thorough, as there are several questions they ask, which will make sure that your LLC is being set up right. ZenBusiness also offers a lot of other services that you may be interested in, and even with the additional questions they ask, I wouldn't expect to see the process take much more than 10 minutes for somebody doing this the first time, even if it took that long. The ZenBusiness customer support is perhaps the best that I've tested so far. They offer chat and phone options where an actual human responded in under 2 minutes, the multiple times that I tried them, as well as an email option where you'll get a response generally in one day. Their chat and phone support is available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Most formation companies don't even have weekend or late evening hours, so I think ZenBusiness is doing a pretty good job here. The agents were able to answer questions, and at least the ones I talked with seemed somewhat knowledgeable about entity formation, which is reassuring should you get stuck or have questions when trying to form your LLC. So, ZenBusiness has a great no-cost plan. The formation process is easy, and they have good customer support. But is ZenBusiness a good company to deal with? Well, to start off and give you a little background, ZenBusiness is one of the newer entity formation companies in the industry, having started in 2015. They are best known for LLC formations, but also sell a number of other services to help businesses start and grow. And even though they haven't been around as long as some companies like LegalZoom or Northwest, ZenBusiness has caught up quickly. ZenBusiness is also unique as they are a public benefit corporation and they award thousands of dollars in grants and give back to the community. While that's all well and good, I want to see what actual customers have to say about ZenBusiness. So I'll look at a couple of third-party websites to see the ratings and comments. The first one I'll look at is the Better Business Bureau, which gives ZenBusiness an A+. In addition, they have a 4.28 out of 5-star rating from 173 customer reviews. The rating and number of comments is a little lower than the other business formation services, but overall a pretty good score. Trustpilot is next, and there are over 10,000 reviews there, and they have a 4.6 out of 5-star rating, and 94% are 4 stars or above. They rank highly, but others like InkFile rank slightly higher. And while every company is going to have some bad reviews from its customers, the ZenBusiness service looks to consistently rank highly from at least these rating platforms. ZenBusiness also actively monitors these websites and responds to everyone that had issues, which I think is important. One of the things, too, that I like about ZenBusiness is their 100% accuracy guarantee, and they offer a full refund if you aren't happy with the service. Of course, there are some limitations, like you can't get your money back after the paperwork is submitted to the state unless they mess something up during the filing. So, is ZenBusiness for you? And while you have a lot of choices when forming your LLC, and I know this is an important decision, I'll list a few reasons why I think ZenBusiness is a good company to form an LLC with. For starters, ZenBusiness offers a free LLC formation service, plus estate fees, of course, but free is always a pro in my book. Their starter plan is all most people are really going to need, but I would take a look at the cost of some of their optional add-on services, as some of them are much more expensive than the competition. Take the worry-free compliance, for instance. Is it worth $199 a year to have assistance with your annual report filing? It's a simple form that needs to be filed, and the fee paid each year in most states. And while it doesn't seem worth it to me, I may be more familiar with this stuff than you may be, or you really don't want to take the chance of missing the filing or deal with remembering the form. And that's fine too. The registered agent service is also a lot higher than the competition at $199 a year. Other reputable services average around $100 to $125 a year. Also, their employer identification number or EIN registration service is $99. And I have resources at startingyourbusiness.com that show you how to register for an EIN at no cost with the IRS in about 5 minutes or so. Secondly, ZenBusiness offers great customer support by having a live human ready to quickly help if you get stuck when forming your LLC. Good customer support, along with pretty high customer satisfaction reviews, seems like a sign that they have a focus on helping their customers be successful even after the sale. Also, forming an LLC through ZenBusiness is super easy, and I think that most people, even those who aren't familiar with business yet, will find the process very intuitive and easy to do. It does take a little longer than some other services because ZenBusiness asks a lot of questions along the way, but I think it will really help to calm the nerves of someone who is starting their first business and isn't 100% sure about the process. And that wraps up my ZenBusiness LLC review video. Overall, ZenBusiness is one of my top 3 companies offering LLC formation services today. The other 2 are InkFile and Northwest. Each of my top 3 I like for different reasons, and my reason for liking ZenBusiness most of all is that I feel their service is the best for someone that is really unsure about starting their LLC, and the ZenBusiness guided process is the best in the business and should take the fear out of getting started. Also, their solid customer service is there to help get your LLC successfully started should you get stuck or have any questions. So, I hope you found this ZenBusiness review helpful, but if you have any questions or if there was something that I didn't explain very well, please reach out and I'll answer. Thanks.